All right, here, I'm back. And why am I back after I said I was leaving YouTube? I just felt like I wanted to make a quick video regarding the recent SCOTUS decisions on the gun issues, the concealed carry issues in New York, and obviously the most important one, the overturning of Roe v. Wade. Um, just kind of to get to the point, is that the right, the Christians, the conservatives are all celebrating these victories, celebrating these wins, and for good reason. The decision in about the New York, the concealed carry decision there is a victory for gun owners because it does set precedent elsewhere outside of New York. Um, and the Roe v. Wade, obviously, do I really even need to explain why that is a victory? But the point of this video is to simply point out that we shouldn't get overly excited over this simply because this is only going to further the Dems, the left's resolve in destroying this nation. Now, what do I mean? Well, I mean, I've been saying for a long, long time that this nation is under the judgment of God. I personally believe, I'm not trying to speak for God, but what I know about Scripture and God, that I believe we're under judgment. It's not fire and brimstone from the heavens, but when you look at the homosexuality and the transgender issues going on, Scripture is very, very clear about that when he hands the people over because they've decided to worship and serve the created rather than the creator, sexual perversion is the thing he hands people over to. And I just read recently a study that said there has been a what I think it was a 4,000%, 4,000, not 400 or 40, 4,000% increase in people who identify as transgender just within the last, I don't remember, it was like 3 or 4 or 5 years or something. That's insane. That can only be explained, ultimately speaking, one way, and that is the judgment of God. Now, ultimately, I believe this nation is going to collapse and cease to be as we know it because of the judgment of God. But here on this plane, on this level, I see the Dems wanting deliberately to destroy this nation. I said this years ago. Some of you probably recall the videos. I've been saying this for a long time. They want to destroy this nation. And if you've been paying attention at all over the last 18 months since Biden became president, their plan is working great. You know, we talk about how Biden and the Dems and the left are just stupid. They're morons. No, they're brilliant. These people are brilliant. They pulled off the stealing of an election and got away with it, scot clean, despite the abundance of evidence that they cheated. And then, with the gas prices, the inflation, all of it. I don't need to go over it because you know it. This is all deliberate. It's all by design. Okay? They're deliberately trying to destroy this country. So anyways, back to I kind of derailed there for a little bit, or kind of. Anyway, the Roe v. Wade and all this stuff. Now, you'll notice that they are now, the left and the Dems are stating that they're just going to simply ignore the Supreme Court. With the gun, let me backtrack to 1 second. The gun issue in New York, I mean, the mayor there, Adams, already said they're still going to prosecute conceal. I don't know the exact details on it, but they're still going to prosecute. They basically said we're going to ignore the Supreme Court on that issue. And then now with the Roe v. Wade, what are they saying? We're going to ignore it. There's all kinds of DAs throughout, basically throughout the nation, who have already stated we will not prosecute anyone who performs or anyone who gets an abortion, even if it's outlawed in that particular state. Ignoring the rule of law. We have the left, and even, I mean, not just left like the loonies, like, you know, movie stars and stuff, but the Congress, the people in the House, people in the Senate, who are saying, you know, Maxine Waters, for instance, saying, you know, to hell with the Supreme Court, we will defy them. Basically, they're saying they want, and they've not just basically, they've stated they basically want to dissolve the Supreme Court. They're not even so much concerned about stacking the court any longer. They just want to do away with it altogether. They're calling it illegitimate because Trump was the one who appointed, you know, 3 of the justices. They just want to abolish it altogether. And then when you add in the fact of the other issues, this two-tiered system, justice system, where the people on the right, particularly the January 6th rioters, are basically political prisoners. And then they let the Antifa, Black Lives Matter people who assaulted police officers and this, that, and the other during the Summer of Love during 2020, they just let them off. They dropped all the charges. They ignore their crimes. We have the insane left trying to invade the court capitals in like Arizona and stuff. Nothing will be done to them. Nothing. But if you're on the right, they come after you. If you're Roger Stone, they kick down your door. If you're on the right, they come after you. If you're on the left, they let you go. Now, all of this, again, is to say that those in charge are no longer interested in justice. They're no longer interested in the Constitution. They're no longer interested in what the Supreme Court has to say. They simply don't care anymore. So yes, the point of this video, yes, a victory overturning Roe v. Wade. I live in Idaho. I'm one of those states that is banning it. Abortion. That is wonderful. But don't get too excited. Because this is part of, I believe, the means by which God is bringing judgment on this nation is going to ultimately collapse this nation. Because this, though it is a good thing from our perspective, and objectively it is good if babies are saved from it, this is going to cause the left to become further enraged and deranged, and they're simply going to stop following the law altogether. So whether they try to get rid of the Supreme Court or just for now they're ignoring it, whatever it is, it's leading to the collapse of our system. A system that is by no means perfect, because only Christ's kingdom is perfect or will be perfect. But it's worked for almost 250 years. But now they're going to just stop. They're going to ignore it, ignore the laws. They're already doing it. And it's going to be the means by which everything begins to collapse and implode. And so I just say this to warn people not to be overly excited. You know, I see it I'm not on Twitter anymore because I got booted off. I'm on Gab, the very anti-Jew, racist website. But that's where I'm at. I see it. They're just like, yeah, victory, victory. And I'm thinking, people, can you see past your nose? Can you see 2 seconds into the future? The implications of this? Think where this is going to lead. Yes, I'm glad it happened. Don't misunderstand. But you have to see beyond that. You have to look, okay, so what are the implications? How are people going to react? How is the left going to react? How are the Democrats going to react? How is this going to unfold. And the unfolding of it, I guarantee you, is not going to be good. It's leading to the collapse of our system altogether, which means the end of the United States. I saw this guy, Tim Pool, he's a conservative commentator guy. He says, I saw a tweet, someone posted a tweet from him on Gab. It said something, it says, in 30 years, the U.S. will be conservative Christian. In 30 years, the United States won't even exist as we know it today. Won't even exist. People are getting way too excited over this. And they're not seeing the bigger picture. They're not thinking ahead. And they're not looking at it through spiritual eyes or through a biblical lens. I'm absolutely convinced we are under the judgment of God. I'm a realist. I just see it for the way it is. So just don't get overly excited, folks. If you're not prepping, then you're not paying attention. Things are going to continue to get worse. I called this when Trump lost the election. I made a whole series of videos about all this, about the communism coming and the collapse of this, that, and the other. It's happening before our eyes, and if you're not paying attention, if you're not ready for it, you're gonna be left behind. Anyways, that's the purpose of this video. It's all I wanted to say. Peace.